Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Collection Reflection, or just Collection Reflection, I should say. I am your host, Tim Williams, and once again, joining me is my co host, the owner, proprietor, and curator of the Auditorium in Lapeer, the Amazonianly alluring Kristin Griffis.
What's up, everyone? He says that because I'm 6 foot tall and I'm huge. So it just is what it is.
Exactly. So I wanted to remind people that if
I'm,
they have
I'm
not
huge.
seen our very first, no, if you have not seen our very first episode where I interview Kristen, rewatch it because we get very in depth about her height and other things.
And my life.
Yes, and her life in the auditorium and all that good stuff. So excuse me, before we get to our special guest this week, I believe I made you go first last time, so I will go
Yeah, you go
first
first.
this time.
What?
The segment that is taking Lake Orion by storm, and that is none other than What You Got, and we still don't have music for it, and there you go. All right, excellent, thank you. Now, unfortunately, we were not able to get our scheduled Halloween show in last month. It was going to be with Jack Magnus from jacksaddict.com. Hopefully, we'll be able to get that in December, and that will be our Christmas show instead.
Yes.
So because Thanksgiving is coming up next week, I got a couple turkey-related items,
Nice.
and I don't collect. I'm not a big Funko Pop collector, but these guys always do. First of all, one of the greatest shows ever, in my opinion, Mystery Science Theater 3000. You got Tom Servo and you got Crow T Robot there. Um, and as always, this Thanksgiving, they are going to do a Turkey Day marathon and show all the crappy movies that they're known for. I think it's a streaming thing. I don't know if they're like on cable, but either way, look for them. Mystery Science Theater 3000, Funko Pops, Crow T Robot, and Tom Servo. There's not a ton of collectibles of these guys out there,
So was that a
but I got them.
show or a movie or?
You don't know what Mystery Science Theater 3000 is. Okay.
No, what?
You're probably a little bit young, but yeah, it was well, it started out as a television show,
Okay.
and they did make a movie.
Okay.
I believe they made one movie.
So what year are we talking? Like what years?
Man,
What decade?
it started in the late 80s,
Okay.
and I think it went all the way up to the 90s. Man, I gotta spit
Well,
this
I
out.
should
Hold on one
know.
second.
I should know. I was born in 88.
Uh, so yeah, it was the satellite of love. They got like sent out into space, and the evil guys would make them watch the crappy movies, and you might know them. They were like little shadows down in the theater watching the movies and commenting on the movies. If not, I have a bunch of DVDs that I can lend you to
Okay.
watch it.
Yeah, it
But
doesn't sound familiar.
okay. Well,
Okay.
hopefully the viewers know what I'm talking about. I know that our guest does, but what you got, Kristen?
What you? All right, so I brought a last rites cross or a sick call cross. So like when somebody was like on their deathbed, super sick, the priest would go to their house and they would take this.
Ah,
It always comes with the candles. The candles would go here, the holy water, and then the last rites prayer, I think it is. And that's what the priest would read off. And yeah, these are super dope. They're hard to find with the goodies inside, which I
yeah.
only buy them if it has the goodies inside.
Oh, okay.
So I hope people can see.
Yeah.
Anywho, so yeah.
That's cool. So what year would you say that's
Oh
from
gosh,
about?
don't even ask me. I have no idea.
But
I
you think
don't.
it's older?
Oh yeah, it's definitely vintage. I
Okay.
don't think this is a thing anymore, but I don't know 100%.
Okay.
But yeah, they're cool. They're
All
definitely
right.
vintage.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so that's what
Excellent.
I brought.
All right. Thank you.
What you got?
Thank you. That's right. There it is. Another rousing edition of What You Got.
You and your words. You're full of them.
Words. All right. without further ado, let's get to our special guest this week. He is. Oh, wrong one. Hold on one second.
He's coming soon to theaters near you.
He is none other than the creator of HollywoodDiecast.com, the host of Movies for Dumb Guys, and the host of Top 10, and also one of the stars of Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi, none other than our friend Joe Johnson.
Hey,
How's it
Joe.
going? Hey, Kristen, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Got the week off, and I'm in solitary confinement here at home.
Nice. Jelly.
Now, I will say this. I mean, I've known you for a long time, and you've collected a lot of things over the years. We're almost going to be going backwards because we're going to start off with something that you've recently started collecting, more so than what I knew you for before, as far as collecting wise, and that is Hollywood movie props. So you are going to take us on a tour of your house and show us some of the recent and maybe not so recent acquisitions that you've gotten. Um, you and I did the Star Wars top 10, your show, Star Wars top 10 together.
Yeah, that
Um,
was fun.
so you are, however you want to do it. Well, first of all, like, when did you make the decision to kind of start collecting the Hollywood movie props?
Well, I've always been a collector. I mean, going back to when I was a kid, and collecting, the original Star Wars figures, which I still have. I still have all my original vintage Star Wars figures. And then over the years, I expanded into other movie figures. And then I got into the diecast cars in the early 2000s, collecting cars from television and film. So I've always been a collector, but it wasn't until probably about less than 2 years ago I started getting into replica props. Now, original props, screen used props from movies, cost a fortune. There was just an auction this past weekend where items went for 30, 40, $50,000, $100,000, and obviously that's out of my budget. So I really focus on replicas. Some of them are officially licensed. Some of them are made by people far more talented than me. They create these replicas and sell them on eBay and Etsy, and that's primarily where I get them. So yeah, so the prop thing has only been in the last couple of years, but as you know, my passion is movies. I practically grew up in movie theaters.
Right.
It was a cheap form of entertainment for my family and me.
Hmm.
And I saw everything in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And that's one of the things I miss most during this COVID time is being in a movie theater watching new movies.
Yeah.
And so that brings us to, this prop collection. I love having tangible things that remind me of my favorite movies that I can hold in my hands and share with friends. And I love seeing the reactions I get from people when I show off my collection.
So, what was the first, like when you decided to kind of focus on this? What was the first replica movie prop that you bought?
It's hard to pinpoint the first one. It kind of started out with maybe some paper products. I did, because of the car connection, I did get into some license plates that were made by this company called Celebrity Machines, and they make replica license plates from famous vehicles, like the Back to the Future license plate, the Blues Brothers, that sort of thing. So it kind of started there, and then just kind of kept expanding and expanding. Um, I'm trying to think which one might have been the first major prop I bought. It might be this. I'm gonna flip my camera around. Let's see here. Can you see that?
Are you showing us the lightsaber or the
Yes.
helmet? Okay.
So I think it started with the lightsaber. I really wanted a replica of Luke's lightsaber. This one I got on eBay. This is a replica of Luke's Empire Strikes Back lightsaber. And one of the things that made me want to get it was I was in LA a couple years ago, and they had some authentic movie props on display at a place called the Paley Center. And they had an original Luke Skywalker lightsaber and a couple other famous movie props. And that was sort of my kick in the pants where I felt like I wanted to try and get replicas of some of those props that were on display. And
Oh,
then
okay.
just above that is the Stormtrooper helmet. And as a kid, some of the earliest Star Wars merchandise that you're able to buy were helmets and stuff from the movies. And Don Post made those helmets. You remember those?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I remember going into some little comic book store when I was a kid, and they had a Stormtrooper helmet behind the register. And I wanted that thing so bad, and I just couldn't afford it. And I never got one as a kid. In hindsight, it was pretty crappy looking, but at the time, I just wanted it so bad.
They,
Well, now,
now I was going to ask you, those for the time were pretty expensive, right? I mean,
yeah,
in my mind, like any of those, like Don Post and some of the other like masks. I remember going into like a magic shop in Oxford. They had a bunch of different masks, and it seems like the prices were like really high.
yeah. For a kid, just wanting Star Wars toys, the masks were considered on the high end. And so now, as part of the Hasbro Black Series, they do these amazing replicas of Star Wars helmets. And so this was the first one I bought, is the Stormtrooper helmet, which is so accurate. I
Yeah.
mean, it looks exactly like the helmet from the movie. And then soon after that, I got Luke Skywalker's X-wing helmet, and
Now
and then
those are wearable, correct?
yeah, and some of them have electronic features and stuff where it'll like amplify your voice and stuff.
Oh, how
Well,
cool.
you don't have to, but feel free to try one on for us if you want.
I wouldn't be
If you'd
mad
like
at it.
to.
No, not right now. You'll have you two are invited to come over later and we'll play.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to mess your hair up.
No, I don't want to take my hat off. Is what I don't want to do. And so now, once I started getting these helmets, I go down this rabbit hole where I'm like, well, what else is out there? So then I added Darth Vader to my collection, and this thing is amazing. I'm going to see if I can make it. If I take this top part off, it's held on by magnets. Well, I don't know if I want to mess with it. It might fall over, but
Okay.
it makes electronic sounds, breathing sounds, and there might be a button here somewhere. There it is. I don't know if you can hear this.
Yeah, we can.
So so it makes the sound effects, and there's like a decompression thing when you take the top part off, and
Oh, really?
these are just really amazing. So
Yeah.
that it kind of, when I started getting into the higher end collectibles, these Star Wars helmets is kind of where it started for me.
Okay.
And then the most recent one that I got is this one over here,
Yeah.
Boba Fett. This has electronic features. If I move that down,
Oh, wow.
that lights up.
Wow, that's
And
cool.
Boba Fett's been in the news lately because he has a cameo in The Mandalorian, and we should see more of him coming soon. But
Right.
I was always such a huge fan of Boba Fett when I was a kid, and so it's really cool to get this,
Yeah, that's
screen accurate helmet.
that's amazing. Well, that helmet has showed up. Spoiler alert,
Yeah,
that helmet has at least shown up in the new season of The Mandalorian so far.
exactly. Yeah, so that's really cool. I'm just loving that show.
Uh,
So if we want to keep the helmet theme going, here's a helmet I added not too long ago. I'm a huge fan of the movie The Rocketeer, and as far as I know, there's not an officially licensed Rocketeer helmet. So this one was custom made by a guy who calls himself El Rocketeer, and coincidentally, he's out of Chula Vista, California, which is near San Diego, and that's where I was born. And
Oh,
my
okay.
dad was stationed in the Navy, and so I'm from Chula Vista, California. And this is where this helmet came from, and it's just breathtaking. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that
And
is. That is. What about
so
the pistol there? Is that
so that's
officially
just
licensed?
that's an airsoft gun of a Mauser pistol, like a World War II Mauser pistol.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I only paid like $15 for it. It was really cheap,
Oh,
but
wow.
it really looks the part, and that's the
Yeah.
type of gun that Rocketeer used near the end of the movie. And
Okay.
then I even added some vintage Beeman's gum, which is a real thing. It's a real vintage
Yeah.
pack of Beeman's gum that's featured in the movie.
Oh,
So
okay.
this, I can say, if you were to ask me what are some of your favorite pieces in your collection, this is up near the top. I absolutely love this Rocketeer helmet.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now before we move too far past Star Wars, what is there anything that you're looking forward to that they have not produced yet that you'd like to
Um,
get?
I saw coming out soon. I think it might be early next year. Similar to this Boba Fett helmet, they're going to be releasing a Mandalorian helmet. So I'm looking forward to getting that and adding that to my collection too.
Kristen, have you ever seen Star Wars?
I mean, I mean,
You can
Oh,
admit.
am I allowed to
If-
be honest that I'm not a fan?
So you've seen it, but you're just not a
I've
fan.
seen like one, and I'm personally not a fan. But to each their own, and I respect the people who love it.
Was it the one with Jar Jar Binks by any chance?
I don't
Because
remember.
if it is, then we got to school you on what order you need to watch them in. But that's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
I'm lame.
hey Tim, can you cut her mic off, please?
Hey, now, come on. Got any Harry Potter stuff? Now that I can talk about.
You don't have any Harry Potter stuff, do you, Joe?
I do. We're going to get to it in a
Oh.
second.
Oh,
okay.
oh snap!
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we see the poster there. Is that
So,
one of the originals?
well, actually, this is referred to as the Circus Poster, and what this actually is a when I was a kid, I used to buy the Star Wars fold-out poster books, and they came out with about 15 or 16 of them over, like it was a monthly release.
Okay.
And this is one of the original fold-out posters that was based on the Star Wars Circus Poster. So I still have all my original poster books and that stuff.
So you've mentioned before that so that's not like the original magazine that you had the first time that you ever saw Star Wars, though, right?
I do still have that, but those poster books were some of the first Star Wars collectibles that I bought as a kid.
Oh, okay.
I had those before I had the action figures.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome.
All right. And before we leave this room, these are some more recent props that I got. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go down that Marvel rabbit hole because there's so much out there.
Right.
But after watching the movies again recently, after Chadwick Boseman died, I started rewatching some of the movies. And I'm like, man, these are classics. These are going to be this generation's Star Wars. And so I decided I was going to pick up a couple of Marvel things. So what you see here is the Marvel Legends Iron Man helmet. Again, it's electronic and has some electronic features to it. We have Thor's hammer, which has some electronic features. Cap's shield. Above Cap's shield, we got a deck of cards. Remember Agent Coulson's playing
Yes,
cards or
from
trading cards?
yeah, that was from the original Avengers.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was from the original Avengers. And if you look closely, it has Agent Coulson's blood on it. You see that
Oh yeah, yeah.
on the corner there? So yeah, there's a bloody
Nice.
version and a non-bloody version. So
Okay. What about?
and then
Yep. I was just gonna ask you.
right there is Tony Stark's arc reactor.
Mhm.
This is pays tribute to when Pepper Potts she had to replace his arc reactor because he upgraded it, and she took this one and put it in an acrylic box, and then it says proof that Tony Stark has a heart.
Yeah.
And this I do not believe is officially licensed.
Oh.
This was, I think, just kind of handcrafted by somebody, and
Okay.
it's just spectacular. And if I were to plug it into a USB port, it would light up and everything. It's just really amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool.
So that's my Marvel collection right there.
Nice. Now, what about? I asked you about Star Wars, but what about Marvel? Is there anything that you're looking forward to that they're going to produce, or maybe something that's not even in production yet that you're
Well,
hoping that they'll produce?
there's still a lot of things out there I haven't added to my collection yet. One thing I've been looking at is like a Tesseract Cube. You can buy a Tesseract Cube that lights up and everything.
Okay.
I've also been looking at Captain America has a compass, and when he opens it up, it has Agent Carter's face in it, Peggy Carter.
Okay.
You can buy those online too. So those are a couple of pieces I may get around to adding to my collection. But right now, I like the way this looks, and I'm going to keep it like this for a little while.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Kristen, have you ever seen any of the Marvel movies?
Yeah, I've seen a few. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Okay, I'm just asking.
I'm not into them that hard,
All right, I'm just asking.
but they're cool movies.
Joe, what's your favorite Marvel movie so far?
Boy, it's always a toss up between Iron Man and Captain America. I love Iron Man because it launched the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's such a great movie and such a great performance by Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I agree.
But it alternates with the first Avenger, Captain America. I absolutely love that movie too. The fact that it's set in World War II, and
Yeah.
so it's kind of a toss up between those two movies.
Okay. All right, cool.
And if you're wondering if I'm worthy,
we were wondering.
yeah,
So,
I am worthy.
all right, excellent. That's cool. What all does that do? So that lights up and makes
sound effects. Yeah.
Okay.
Believe it or not, when I first put this on the shelf, the whole shelf collapsed to the floor.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
had to put it all back up on the wall. So
You had to
Yeah.
make a worthy shelf.
yeah, the shelf was not worthy. All
Now, is
right,
that-
you ready to move on?
Is that alien poster right there? I'll just ask you about that real quick. Is that one of the? That's not like a vintage or anything.
No. Most of what you see here are replicas. I just like
Okay.
the artwork.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
All right. Take us
All
to
right.
wherever
Let's
you
move
want.
on. Let's see. Let's go around the corner here. In addition to modern movies, I like getting into some of the classics. And what you see here is the Rosebud sled from Citizen Kane.
Rosebud.
One of the most famous movie props of all time. I never thought I'd be able to add one to my collection, but I found a guy who was selling them on eBay. He makes them from scratch, and it's absolutely spectacular. And just recently, I found this officially licensed snow globe from Citizen Kane. So I just played those two pieces together. They're both from Citizen Kane.
I have to admit, even though that I am a movie, but I guess I'd be considered a movie buff too. I've never been able to make it through Citizen Kane. Kristen, ever seen Citizen Kane?
Nope, definitely not.
Okay. I mean, I've seen parts of it. I don't know if maybe I've seen the whole thing just by the parts of it that I've seen. But I mean, I'm obviously familiar with the end, but I don't remember. I don't remember if I've ever seen any of the parts with the actual sled in it.
It's they show him. They don't really reveal it as Rosebud at the beginning of the movie, but you see the Citizen Kane as a kid sledding on it. And then, spoiler alert, the big reveal comes at the end.
Right, and I've seen that part plenty of times, but yeah.
But the whole movie is basically about the search for what Rosebud is.
Right.
Is it a woman? What is it? And so really it's the thread that puts the whole movie together. And, some people call it the greatest movie ever made. I like it. I don't know if I'd agree that it's the greatest movie ever made, but
for the time,
And it was so far ahead of its time, yeah.
And speaking of that, I'm seeing myself on the camera, and I think I am turning into a little. I'm turning a little bit more Orson Welles-ish every day myself.
Can you say we sell no wine before it's time?
I'm not gonna say that.
That goes way back.
Y-
Now, the original, there's one surviving Rosebud sled. It's owned by Steven Spielberg, and he has donated it to the Hollywood Museum, or I should say the Academy Museum. The people who do the Oscars, they're going to be opening up their museum in 2021, and it's going to have the original Rosebud sled on display, as
Oh,
well
okay,
as
cool.
Bruce the shark from Jaws. I think they're going to have a pair of ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz. So I
Ooh.
can't wait till they open their doors. I wanna be there when they open up.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. What's the significance of the snow globe again?
That's at the very beginning of the movie. Well, you see it in the early scenes when he's a young boy, and then right near the beginning of the movie when Citizen Kane is lying in bed, he's holding the snow globe, and when he
That's
says
when he says
Rosebud,
Rosebud, right? Okay,
yeah, it falls from his hand and shatters on the floor. Yeah.
okay, all right, excellent.
All right.
That is cool.
And the holiday seasons are coming up. And even though this is a year round display for me, I keep this up all year long. But I have the leg lamp from A Christmas Story. I got it
Yes.
from the Christmas Story house. They sell merchandise out of one of their buildings over by the Christmas Story house. And so this is an authentic replica of the leg lamp.
Nice, nice.
None of the original leg lamps survived the filming. They destroyed all of them
Oh, okay.
in those scenes where
Where-
the mom broke it.
Yeah,
So there are no original props left, but
okay.
the Christmas Story house. As a matter of fact, the guy that currently owns the Christmas Story house, he made his fortune selling replica leg lamps, and then the money he made from that allowed him to buy the house that was
Oh,
featured in the movie.
really? Now, so he was always making the full size ones because I have
Yeah.
the smaller version that somebody made. Was that NECA that made those? Do you remember? So
I believe NECA did smaller versions of that, and you can actually buy this in a wide variety of sizes depending on your budget.
okay,
This is the largest one and the most expensive one, but
okay,
this is the one that's most screen accurate.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks just like it.
I've been wanting to get one of those for years, to be honest.
Really?
Oh,
I thought,
yeah.
Kristen, I thought this would be right up your
That's
alley. I
right
know
up my
you like
alley.
odd
You
stuff,
you
so.
yeah.
So if you're ready, when you're ready to sell that, you know who to call.
You need
You'll
that.
have to pry it from my cold, dead hand.
Okay. Well, I like dead stuff, so.
You need
You know,
you
I kind of joke about this. I'm going to have the best estate sale ever when I'm gone. So be sure to come to my estate sale. And
All
get some
right.
bargains.
I could see that in the front of your store, lit up,
There
and
you go.
you could leave that for Christmas time.
Yeah, I've been
It would
wanting
bring
one.
That
people
would be
in.
perfect.
Yeah.
I will say that this is this is probably my favorite Christmas movie, and I watch it
Oh,
at least
mine hands down.
once a season.
Can I ask what those cost for the full size one?
This one, I think, I want to say it was around the $300 range
Oh, right
for
on.
the full size lamp. But like I said, you can get cheaper, smaller versions of
Oh
it.
no, I'd want the full size.
Yeah.
I'd want to go big.
So you get
Hey, what's that hiding in the corner over there? It is the Red Ryder BB gun. This is the packaging. I wrapped it up like it was in the movie, but the box that the BB gun is in is a pretty close. They call it the movie version of the Red Ryder BB gun. So
yeah, because I
the
have one too, but
packaging
it's not.
bears it.
I have like the 75th anniversary edition. It's not exactly the same as that one.
Yeah.
But
When Ralphie rips open the wrapping paper, this is very similar to the box that you see. It's a slightly different, but it's a kind of a tribute to that one.
yeah, is there a compass in the stock?
That I don't know. I haven't taken out of the box yet. So,
Oh, okay.
and that thing which tells time. And then over here, I know Kristen likes historical pieces, older pieces,
Uh-huh.
and this piece right here is from 1940. That is the Little
Wow.
Orphan Annie decoder pin. And he deciphers, be sure to drink your Ovaltine with the code. But I
Whoa.
actually found this on eBay. It's an authentic Little Orphan Annie decoder pin, which is exactly the one that Ralphie uses in the movie.
Oh, that
Oh,
is so cool.
that's awesome.
Nice.
And then Lifebuoy, that's a vintage from the time period Lifebuoy bar of soap.
How cool.
I did not know that Lifebuoy was an actual thing.
Yeah,
And
yep,
and
it's a real bar of soap.
I saw some at Walmart the other day.
Oh,
Actually,
really?
yeah.
Oh.
It
You
wasn't.
probably
It
thought they
wasn't that.
put
It
'em out
wasn't
just for
like that
Christmas.
though. It was like you know. I don't think it was the red bar, but it was. It was like you know, a bottle
Okay.
of hand soap or something. But it was
Oh,
Lifebuoy.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Lifebuoy's been around. And there's the family right there. And then right next to that, this is one of my favorite pieces in my collection. None of the stuff you see in this picture is officially licensed. This is Mary Poppins' carpet bag.
Hmm.
I had it custom made just for me. I found a seller on Etsy who makes carpet bags, and I asked if she could make me one similar to the Mary Poppins bag, and I gave her some specific instructions. And this arrived in the mail, and it's an exact duplicate of Mary Poppins carpet bag.
Wow.
So it's pretty awesome. I just
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
So what you
Yeah.
gonna pull out of there?
Got all kinds of stuff: lamps, mirrors, you
Spoonful
name
of
it.
sugar.
That's right. Another very talented individual made this Parrot Umbrella. Really spectacular. It's the only one that I've seen that looks exactly like the parrot from the original movie.
Oh, that's so
There are
cool.
Yeah.
there's officially licensed Parrot umbrellas out there, but I think they're based on the recent remake that they did. You will not find a more accurate duplicate of the one from the movie. This one just blows my mind.
Yeah. That's.
And then,
I've seen that in person, and that's. Well, I mean, I've seen most of your stuff in person, but
yeah,
that is really
That's neat.
really cool. That kind of stands out. I think.
yeah, yeah, it's awesome. And then, believe it or not, I have some mad skills. I made this Mary Poppins hat. I used a hot glue gun, which I'd never used before, and I made this Mary Poppins hat, which is pretty darn close to
Yeah.
what she wore in the movie, as you can see right there.
Oh, okay.
Nice
So,
job. Mad
thanks.
skills.
Excellent.
I know.
Now,
Yeah.
now you could turn that into a business.
Right? He could start selling them.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I know. I actually thought of it. If I can get a supply of these black hats and some fake cherries and daisies, I can crank those out.
Yeah. Sell them for like $50 a pop. Just like
Exactly.
sling them.
Now,
So,
now I can't help but notice that spittoon under there.
Platoon. What?
Yeah, Kristen would be very interested in that herself. But was that from? Maybe I missed that scene. Was that from a deleted scene from Mary Poppins when she
when
caught
she was
caught the kids chewing tobacco, and so she made them dip the whole tin?
Yeah.
a spoonful of backy makes everything come up.
Makes everything wacky.
There's no movie connection to that other than the fact that I'm a John Wayne fan, and
Oh, okay.
I just wanted like an old west thing. I have this Rio Lobo poster on my wall. So,
Oh, okay. All right.
all right, ready to move on.
I believe so.
All right,
We are.
There's you probably recognize this guy here.
I do. Is that the is that the one that does stuff or no? Okay.
Here he goes. Yep, he's a animatronic, makes noises and stuff. He's pretty cool. All right, let's go over here. So this is some of my prized possessions over here. I have a ton of Back to the Future items. Some of them have really interesting stories behind them. This clock tower flyer, I actually got from Claudia Wells,
Mm-hmm.
who played Jennifer Parker in Back to the Future. And she wrote the exact same message that she wrote to Marty in the movie And if you compare this to the scene in the movie, it's exact. It was
Really?
her handwriting on the flyer in the
In the
movie.
movie? Really?
How
So to
cool.
have Jennifer Parker's writing on the back of this flyer makes it extra special.
Yeah.
That's super dope.
Yeah, that is.
And then this USA Today, back in 2015, I think it was, when Marty travels to the future and Back to the Future 2, when the actual date rolled around in 2015, the next day you were able to find this USA Today in newsstands, in liquor stores and grocery stores all over the country.
Oh, okay.
USA Today actually put this on newsstands,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
it's a replica, an exact replica down to the finest details
Wow.
of the newspaper featured in Back to the Future 2. The only thing I think they changed was in the movie there was a reference to Princess Diana, and I think they removed it from this because things didn't quite pan out that way. But
okay,
it was really cool to find that on newsstands in 2015.
So-
I picked up about 5 or 6 copies.
I was just gonna ask, were you like waiting like to get that, or is that something you found online like years after?
were you?
No, I knew they were going to do it.
Okay.
But it was selling out really quickly. I probably went to 10 different places and ended up finding 5 copies.
Okay.
So they were really hard to get, and I'm so glad I grabbed a couple of them.
Yeah, those are
yeah.
super cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Pepsi Perfect bottle. I got this. I think this came from Mexico. Mexico, I think they did like an anniversary, a Back to the Future anniversary release of Pepsi Perfect, and maybe Argentina. So these aren't readily available here in the States. I had to get it on eBay from a seller in South America.
Okay.
But I absolutely love this. One of these days, I want to fill it with something, a brown resin or something, to make it look like Pepsi. But
now is that
then,
plastic or is that an actual glass bottle?
It's all plastic.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. And then we got the hat, we got the hoverboard.
Nice.
Non-functioning.
Oh, man.
But
nice.
One thing I have that does function is this right here. You may recognize this.
Yes.
This is the
flux capacitor,
which makes time travel possible.
Right. And this is one of your newer items, correct?
Yeah, this just came about a week or so ago, and
okay.
Little pricey, but there's an officially licensed version out there. When it comes up for sale on eBay, it sells for $700, $800, and I just can't afford that. So I found a guy on Etsy who found a supply of those electrical boxes, and he got them for a really good price. And so he bought all the parts that they used to make the flux capacitor and Back to the Future, and he decided to make his own and sell them for a pretty good price. So I got it a lot cheaper than what I would have paid for the official licensed version. And it's fantastic. I mean, it is absolutely screen accurate.
Yeah. Now, you don't have to tell us exactly what you paid for the item, but what would you say is the most expensive item in your collection, or what?
Well, that's coming up next.
Okay.
You want me to go to it?
No. We'll just, you can just mention it when you get to it.
I have a fun question.
Kristen's got a question.
I feel like you have a lot of stuff that lights up and does things. When you have company over, do you like hurry up and run around the house and like turn everything on? Because I totally would.
Well, I kind of escort people around because people have sticky fingers, so I want to keep an eye on them.
Right.
So I want to demonstrate all this stuff. So yeah, when I have guests come over, which isn't all that often anymore with COVID, but when I do have guests come by, I like to demonstrate all the working features of these things.
Right. That's so cool.
Yeah. And then next to it, we have a nice replica of the Sports Almanac from Back to the Future 2. And the bag and the receipt.
Nice.
Pretty cool. And it does have, it's full of sports stats and stuff like that. So it
really?
has,
nice.
inner pages too. And
that's cool.
I don't know if I can illustrate this on camera, but you see this photograph
Yeah,
of
we can.
Marty.
Yeah.
As I turn it, can you see his
Yeah, you can
brother and
see
his
it.
sister? His
Yeah.
brother and sister appear and disappear.
Now,
That's
where
pretty
where
cool.
did where did you get that? So obviously somebody makes that. Is that an officially licensed item too? That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a book
Ooh.
that came out called Back to the Future Visual History. It's like ultimate visual history. And as you go through the pages, there's actually artifacts that you can pull out, like this letter from Marty to Doc, which if I were to open it up, the letter would be
Okay.
inside.
Oh, okay.
And like from Back to the Future 3, you see the photo of them at the clock tower,
Oh, yeah.
and then like his mother.
Oh, okay.
So all of these things were included in that book. It's really cool that these paper props came right out of that book.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
So
Cool.
before we get to that really high end item, just above that, we have Rocky's boxing gloves.
Nice.
And this is kind of obscure trivia, but you see the name on the gloves. It says Casanova,
Hmm.
and that's the brand of boxing gloves. They came from Mexico that they used in the first Rocky movie, and both Rocky and Apollo wore these. And Sylvester Stallone picked them because he liked how sleek they looked, and they just looked good on camera.
Okay.
The problem is that they're not really made for all-out boxing. They're really made for like sparring and training.
Oh.
And so when Carl Weathers and Sylvester Stallone were hitting each other, they hurt each other pretty bad.
Oh,
They
okay.
got beat up pretty bad. And so in later movies, you'll see like Tough Wear and other brands of gloves.
Okay.
But this is a officially licensed replica of Rocky's gloves from the very first movie, and these were really really difficult to find. I searched for them and searched for them on eBay, and I finally found somebody selling them. They're made by Diamond, the
The
company
the
that ships
r-
comic books and stuff.
yeah, yeah. Oh, really? Diamond
Yeah,
makes those? Okay.
yeah. So they made them a few years ago. They're really, really hard to find, and
Okay.
I'm so lucky that I got a notification on eBay. I had a save search, and it came up, and I got them, and I'm so happy. They're. I can't. I'm hoping I get Sylvester Stallone to sign them someday. That would be
Yeah.
really cool.
So that's not the most expensive item though.
No,
Okay.
no. The
Okay.
most expensive item is right here.
Okay.
You gotta recognize these.
I do. I don't know about Kristen.
Well, mine's delayed. Mine's delayed. I don't see anything yet.
It might be tough for her to see. Yeah, it's not
Oh,
quite there yet
Wizard of Oz
for us.
shoes.
The ruby slippers from Wizard of
Dorothy's.
Oz. Yep.
Cool.
So I had, it's most people consider the Ruby Slippers the number one movie prop of all time, the most iconic, the most valuable. There's only, I think, 5 pairs in existence. One is at the Smithsonian. I think there's going to be one on display at that Academy Museum. They were found when they were at MGM, they were found on a shelf, and somebody pulled them out, took them, and sold them to people. And now they're just so valuable. A pair got stolen almost 10 years ago from the Judy Garland Museum.
Mm.
And then, like 11 or 12 years later, they surfaced again, and they were
Oh.
able to reclaim them.
Oh, okay.
So I always wanted the Ruby Slippers just because of their iconic status to
Right.
film lovers.
Yeah.
And for a while, I had a pair that I kind of made that looked okay, but weren't exactly screen accurate. But then I came across a guy on Etsy who takes vintage shoes from the time period. They're called NS shoes. I don't know if you can see that inside.
Yeah.
And he takes these vintage shoes and he uses the same technique that the costumers used on Wizard of Oz, and he makes the shoes. And
Oh, okay.
the bow is made exactly like how you would see it in the Wizard of Oz. And these are just absolutely spectacular. Definitely my number one favorite prop in my entire collection. And
Okay.
I won't get into the cost, but I will
All right.
say that this is the most valuable piece in my entire collection.
Now, not to change the subject, but uh, you so like some of the other stuff that you collected and stuff that I collect, obviously, uh, they can increase in value for resale. Do you think that that this type of stuff is going to do that as well?
It's difficult to say because the guy continues to make these and continues to sell them.
Well,
So,
I just mean replica movie
oh,
props
props in general.
in general.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say if they're going to go up in value, because, like I said, there are really talented people out there who can make these things. Now, the items that are officially licensed,
Hmm.
once they sell out, those tend to go up in value.
Okay.
Like the Flux Capacitor, the officially licensed version of the Flux Capacitor, which also is made by Diamond Distributors,
Mhm.
that has skyrocketed in value over the past few years.
Okay.
And so, yeah, if it's officially licensed, yes, those can go up in value. If they're handmade, probably not. It's just more because I want them and just want to add them to my collection.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you
And
have
so
some
here's
other Wizard of Oz items too.
yeah, there's a piece I made myself. I studied stills from the movie and took a really good look at Glinda's magic wand and ended up making her
Oh,
magic
okay.
wand just a display with the ruby slippers. And then another piece I bought on Etsy is the Wicked Witch hat. This was fairly inexpensive, but it's really well done. It has
Yeah.
a wire frame around the brim so I could shape it,
Okay.
and it has like a silk scarf draping off the back, and
All right.
it's pretty darn screen accurate. It looks
Yeah.
just like the hat in the movie.
All right. Yeah, that looks good.
So that's my Wizard of Oz collection.
All right.
And then in this curio cabinet here, I have some more props that I can go over. Top shelf, this is my Forrest Gump collection. I have a pair of Nike shoes, which I think are modern replicas made by Nike. And we
Okay.
have the Bubba Gump shrimp hat, which
Mhm.
I got as a gift. This is an authentic vintage Curious George book. That's the same book that Forrest Gump ends up giving to his son in the movie.
Okay.
Box of chocolates, which is
Of
identical to what
course.
he had. Ping pong paddle. And then
Mhm.
this is kind of new. This isn't really a movie prop, but I like it. It's basically Forrest Gump trading card, a football card from his days at Alabama.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And I just thought it was a neat thing to have. I just
Yeah,
really
that is.
like that piece. It's just kind
Yeah.
of a paperweight.
Oh, yeah, that's cool though. Nice.
And then these are something I'm really happy to have and proud of. It started out with the Fertility Idol from Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Mhm.
And then I added the Staff of Ra headpiece,
Okay.
and then the Holy Grail. And these are all fairly inexpensive props that you can buy. Now, the whip that you see there, that came from Australia, made of, I believe it's made of kangaroo hide, and it's
Okay.
the same length and looks and feels exactly like Indiana Jones whip.
Mhm.
And then the jewel of my collection, Indiana Jones Fedora.
Mhm.
Um, this is another prop that was handmade by very talented people. I guess there were a couple of guys who were fans of Indiana Jones and they had no idea how to make hats. So they studied the craft and started making their own Indiana Jones hats.
Really?
And the cool thing is you can, when you order one, they ask you, well, what scene do you want it? And I'm like, what? And so this is the Jovitos version where we see Indiana Jones at the very beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Mhm.
But then there's a Cairo version, which is a lot more dirty and dusty from when he gets dragged behind the truck.
Okay.
And then there's later versions from Temple of Doom and Last Crusade. So you can kind of pick which Indiana Jones hat you want. And I
Wow.
wanted the one where we first are introduced to Indiana Jones at the
Yeah.
very beginning.
Now
So
speaking of Holy Grail, um, just in general, I know we talked about Star Wars and Marvel, but in general, what would be the holy grail of all movie props
Of his
for you?
collection.
No,
That would, I
that
mean,
that you want to get. Not something that
Okay.
you already have.
there is something I'm looking at, and I'm trying to figure out how to get this made. But a very famous movie prop that I would love to get a replica of are the Ten Commandment tablets. Those are so iconic, with Charlton Heston coming down from the mountain with the Ten Commandments. I really would like to add those to my collection.
Okay.
Um, Nobody makes those, and so I need to figure out how to get them done. Someone suggested I go to a place that makes tombstones
Mm,
and have them engrave them from sandstone. But I would imagine that's going to be really, really pricey. But
yeah.
so that's kind of a holy grail of mine right now is the Ten Commandments. That would be really cool.
Okay. Yeah, that would be.
Is that from Indiana
So,
Jones?
No,
yeah.
that's from
Oh, from the Ten
the
Commandments.
actual Ten Commandments movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna guess.
Yeah.
They play it just about every Easter. I'm sure you've seen it.
That's right.
Okay.
Here's some other odds and ends. The Wonka bar. This is another prop that I made. The golden ticket. I printed those myself and cut them out by hand. The everlasting Gobstopper. I got that on eBay.
Nice.
We have Batman's cowl from The Dark Knight. The One Ring from
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Cool.
And then we have cursed Aztec gold from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Hmm.
And down here for Titanic fans, I have some Titanic props. This is the Heart of the Ocean worn by Rose. It's a very screen accurate replica. Retailed about $100.
Okay.
I was really happy to add it to my collection.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
A couple of odds and ends down here at the bottom. We got Wilson the volleyball,
Yeah.
Nice.
Scream mask, Caddyshack hat.
Excellent.
Now,
Cool.
now I said I like the classic movies. This is something I had to have in my collection. This is one of the most famous movie props of all time. The Maltese Falcon from the Humphrey Bogart movie.
That's another one that I have yet to see.
Oh, it's just great. One of my all-time favorites.
Okay.
And according to the seller that I bought this from, this is cast from one of the original Maltese Falcons. The story goes that back in the 60s, someone bought it at auction, made casts from it, and started making duplicates from the original Falcon, which today, the original Maltese Falcon can go for millions of dollars.
Really?
Yeah, one went up for auction that was verified by Warner Brothers, and it sold for a couple $1 million. So,
Wow.
so this is about as screen accurate as you can get. The fact that it was made from one of the originals is pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Um,
Yeah, I'll have to watch that at some point. There's a lot of them that I got to watch. I have to try to
All
make
right.
it through Citizen Kane at one point too.
Kristen, here's the moment we've been waiting for. Kristen.
Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
Got some Harry Potter stuff coming up.
Okay.
Are you still on delay?
I'm on delay. Yeah. I'm still looking
All
at
right,
the
you'll
Falcon.
see it come up in a second.
Joe, we are running a little bit low on time. Just to let you know.
The
So
wand.
All right, I'm almost done here.
okay.
Is that the wand? Am I looking at the? Oh wait.
No, that's the
So-
that's the snitch.
Oh, there.
We have the
Okay.
golden snitch.
I think I see
And
a
then
wand.
we have
Yeah,
a
there's wands.
collection of wands. We have a chocolate frog,
Nice.
Marauder map, Hermione's time turner, and then of course Harry Potter's acceptance letter to Hogwarts School.
Oh my
So
gosh. How
I have
cool.
all of these. That's Hermione's bag that she pulls all kinds of stuff out. But
Nice.
yeah, so that's my Harry Potter collection.
Did you ever try the Burt's Beats jelly beans that they came out with? That were the.
No,
Oh my gosh,
No,
they were booger flavor and vomit
I know that's
flavor
what I'm
and
afraid
Well,
of.
I've had
I'm afraid of getting one of those.
I
yeah, they were awesome.
well, I've had those with that game Bean Boozled,
Okay.
and those are disgusting.
Yeah, they were nasty.
Yeah,
And they
there's some
tasted
horrible.
just like earwax and like
Yeah.
not that I would know what that tastes like, but I mean if I did know, it was
Right, right.
very cool.
And we're. Whoop! I disconnected. Hold on a second.
I can still hear you.
Ah,
We can still hear you.
Yep.
Okay.
there we go. Did my cord? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're kind of winding down. Here are my last few props. We got the Ghostbusters Proton Pack,
Nice.
the
Excellent.
the Ghost Trap, which
Now, are these official, or is it
Electronic.
something? These are officially made, right?
yeah, these are officially licensed. They were
So I remember seeing
released by Spirit Halloween.
Okay. Kristen's daughter's favorite store, by the way.
Yes.
And so we got
Yeah, that's
that,
cool.
and then we have the Pke Meter, which lights up,
That is so cool.
Nice.
and the Proton Pack functions and everything. It's pretty cool.
Oh, my
Awesome.
goodness.
So I have a couple of pieces from that, and then I'm going to come to the other side. This is kind of popular with movie buffs, and again with the holiday season rolling around, we have some props from Die Hard. I don't know if you remember the scene with the henchman on the elevator.
Oh yeah.
He has the sweatshirt on that says, "Now I have a machine gun."
Yeah.
And then
That's cool.
these walkie-talkies are the exact same brand that they used in Die Hard.
Oh wow.
They're Kenwood walkie-talkies, so
Oh okay.
those are exactly like the ones. And then, of course,
Nice.
it's Zippo lighter and badge.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Cool.
And then I was just going to end with a couple of small props
Okay.
from, this is my Quentin Tarantino shrine. So
Nice.
we got a Big Kahuna burger cup, some Red Apple cigarettes,
Yeah.
Jules Winfield's wallet has his ID in it.
Yeah. Thanks
And
for
then a
censoring
couple of
that.
little things.
Thanks for censoring that out for us.
Exactly. And then just some references to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You know, they had scenes at the Spawn Movie Ranch and El Coyote Restaurant.
Yeah.
There's Brandy the dog. And so that's my little Quentin Tarantino shrine.
Excellent.
And that's pretty much it. That's a tour of my Hollywood prop collection.
You got
All right.
very cool stuff.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. And just one thing, you do not have your Christmas tree up yet, but
Not yet.
but you do decorate with surprise, surprise, Hollywood memorabilia, and so we got you a little something to put on there, and it is the Mandalorian. Mandalorian. We'll leave it on your desk.
Oh,
Here.
awesome. Thanks a lot.
So no
That's
problem.
cool. That is definitely going on the tree this year.
All right. Well, we really appreciate you coming on and inviting us into your home and showing us your collection. Awesome as always. And this will probably be part one because you got a lot of other stuff that we could talk about in the future too.
Yeah, I feel like
that's right.
I don't
collect all
feel
kinds
done.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Like-
So,
I want to see
Right.
more.
yeah, Kristen definitely wants to check it out too. So,
Part 2.
All right.
all right. Thanks a lot. And we'll be talking to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
All right. And like I said, hold on one second. Oops. Oh, wrong one. All right. So like I said, the December Christmas episode will be the one that was going to be our Halloween episode with Jack Magnus from jacksaddict.com. He's got a lot of cool stuff, and he's an artist himself that makes stuff himself. So just keep checking the Orion on TV page, the Collection Reflection Facebook page, or either one of our personal pages to see when that will be. Well, thank you once again for being here, Kristen.
Yeah,
and
no problemo.
we will see everybody next time. Thank you for joining us. And once again, check out if you have not seen it, check out our debut episode with Kristen, because once it hits 1,000, I gotta buy her a prize. So we'll see everybody next time.
All right, bye guys.